And so I say, well, the only thing I've got is my sequel, The Haunted Pickaxe. Obviously, we can't go
No,
submitting the sequel, right? If we haven't sold
right.
the first book.
Yeah.
So then, are you helping me to generate story ideas and figure out my next move?
Yeah, definitely. And that's always part of the offer call too, is where we're talking about different project ideas and works in progress and all those types of things. And most authors, have several things they at least have started to think of or play around with ideas for. So yeah, I love doing the brainstorming part of things too. I do that with a bunch of my clients. Where we'll be like, hey, I kind of have this kernel of an idea. Do you think there's anything there? What can we do with that? And then working on that next project together as closely as they want me to be. So I have some authors who they're like, hey, I wrote a couple chapters. What do you think? Or and other authors that I work with, they don't want me to see anything until they have a full draft. But yeah, as much as they want me involved, I'm happy to brainstorm and kind of work through the whole book with them too.
So if you're out with an editor at an event or chatting and networking and making those connections, and you happen to overhear such and such editor is looking for a book about, I don't know, narwhals and dolphins having underwater fights, do you come back to me and say, hey, this shovel thing is not working out? Do you have anything for me about narwhals versus dolphins? Do you get that prescriptive in your suggestions
Not
if you know there's an availability for it?
Not usually, unless when I hear that, it's something that I was just like, oh, wow, this would actually be a total fit for the types of things this author writes. The most that I've done is I got a YA from one of my authors, and it read to me like historical horror, and that's not what it was at all because I only saw a chapter, so she didn't get into the meat of it, and it was actually a contemporary, and it was not a horror at all. So I was like, do you want to make this a horror? That could be really cool. So I've kind of guided things in that way, but it's what the author is comfortable with. I've definitely never gotten that prescriptive where I'm like, well, you write this very specific, story. No, not so much. I might say, hey, have you thought about trying a mystery? You're really good at X, Y, and Z in your writing. That could be a cool thing to try. But it's always up to what, they're passionate about and what they're comfortable with writing too.
Well, if I'm devastated that my first book didn't sell, and now we've established a great idea that I've got for the second book, but it takes me a while to write it, say, I don't know, a year, 2 years, 5 years, is there any point in there where you start to say, hey, how serious are you as an author, and we start to have a difficult conversation?
No, not really, honestly. I've definitely had authors who have, gone off into the writing or revision queue for, quite some time. And that's totally fine with me. I never like to rush anyone's creative process. I mean, maybe if I haven't heard from you in 5 years, I'd probably be like, hey, are you still writing? Are we still working together? But hey, everyone has a different speed and a different process. So, yeah.
Say, I've been doing a lot of research, and I have half an outline. Give me another 2 years, and I'll get the rest of it for you.
Sure, whatever. Honestly, take your time, send it when it's ready. I'm never gonna push anyone to write faster than they're able or can.